Going for boost. Well, I think going for boost, if you're a boost merchant, like someone like AJ or someone, you go for boost.
100% of the time.
Yes.
Always, every second of every game. Ball's going in your net, don't worry about it. Go get the boost and make sure you've got the full 100 to celebrate with the other team.
Oh God. Never. Yeah, never. Always go for ball.
Yeah.
Number one rule of Rocket League.
Welcome to the Boost Over Ball podcast, where three aggressively average Rocket League players talk about everything RLCS with your hosts, Ace, Code Red Jack, Kyle Cube, and AJ Binky. So, if you've ever wondered when the best time to go for Boost Over Ball is, you've come to the right place.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Boost Over Ball podcast. To listeners new and old, hello and welcome to the show. Thank you so much for tuning in. I'm Kyle K-Cube, and I'm joined today by AJ Binky.
Yo.
We got a jam-packed show for you guys, our longest show doc ever. Today we'll be talking about the EU Open Qualifier number 2, from Swiss to playoffs and everything in between. We'll also be talking about the NA Open Qualifier number 3, as we now know our top 16, and our 16 teams that are fighting for those, 15 teams that are fighting for those last 3 major spots before taking you around the world, and then wrapping up for an episode today.
Before we get started, I just want to point out that it is currently 69 degrees Fahrenheit outside, and it feels great.
Yeah, it is. It's like 55 for me.
Yeah, good stuff.
Loving the warm weather. But we'll jump right in with EU Swiss. Our teams going 3-0 are BDS and Karmine Corps. Our teams going 3-1 are SA, Oxygen, and Redemption. Our teams going 3-2 are Magnifico, Team Vitality, and Gentlemates Alpine. Our teams going 2-3 are Top Cougars, Bellinguel, Fast 4-Wheel Drive. And our teams going 1-3 are Team 3, Oida, Endpoint. And our last 2 teams that went 0-3 are Caliente and Team Husky. What kind of jumps out at you about the results from the Swiss stage?
Vitality going 3-2.
I think that's a big one. Losing to
Gentlemates, not 3-0 this time.
Yeah,
that's about it.
Yeah, I mean it's interesting to me because like you pointed out first, right? Like Vitality ended up having to play Karmine Corps. Like that's a tough draw for anybody. It'd be like any team kind of drawing against G2 and NA, and they lose in Game 5, right? It's a fantastic series, and then they're kind of stunned by SA in round 4, and I certainly didn't see that coming, but SA had been on a little bit of a run there after beating Karmine Corps in the double elimination, and Karmine Corps had to qualify through the lower bracket. But, Vitality playing in a round 5 in Swiss was not exactly what I saw happening at this event.
Yeah, there's a whole lot of confusing things coming from EU recently.
Yeah, but also Team 3, a team that everybody kind of was surprised to see in the first qualifier, are not able to repeat their magic, and the only series win they got is against Oida. So they're not able to make day 2, and Oxygen seems to have turned it around a little bit with their only loss coming against BDS. But a big win over Gentlemates in round 4, and that secures them their spot in top 8. So congratulations to Oxygen. And it was on Saturday in playoffs that we got the EXO interview. I'll put the link in the episode description for people who haven't seen it, but basically EXO was very candid and very blunt about the fact that people have written off Oxygen. He doesn't really, in his words, give a shit about what anybody else says. Even the casters, like calling Stumpy out pretty much. So, this is the kind of personality that you get in esports, and I kind of like to see it, even if it was a little bit brazen and forward of him. I mean, you see Oski laughing in the background and having to wheel himself out of the shot, but I give props to Ixo for saying that. I'm sure he galvanized his team a little bit. They're not able to complete the run to the grand finals, but certainly a fantastic showing from Oxygen, and one of the best interviews I've heard all year.
I can't wait to see the jabs that come from the casters when he makes a mistake during a game now.
Yeah, no kidding.
It's going to be amazing.
It certainly will.
It's going to be hilarious.
But with that, we'll jump into our biggest winners and losers of the Swiss stage. Starting out with winners. First and foremost, I got Suh, a crazy qualification to Swiss through uppers by beating Karmine Corp, and they follow it up by beating Vitality to qualify for a top 8. That's a pretty good weekend for them in and of itself, let alone what they did in the playoffs, but we'll talk about that in a little bit. I have Redemption in the second spot. They looked good in Swiss. They make top 8. They beat Magnifico. They secure their spot, in the top 8 and really solidify themselves into that the chasing group for the top 4. And last but not least, I got BDS. They dropped 2 games in Swiss, and most importantly for everybody, they avoid Karmine Corp in the bracket, being on opposite sides. So, if they had to play Karmine Corp, it would be in the grand finals if they made it. What do you think of my top?
Yeah, I mean, are they playing the same game as NA's playing? Just dodge the top team?
That seems to be what it is.
Yeah, pretty much.
Did I miss anybody in winners, or this is just from Swiss, and I left out a couple of teams purposefully because I used them later in the playoff winners and losers.
Right. Yeah, I think you got it then.
Okay. And then now our biggest losers from Swiss, I got Team 3. Not a great showing for them, and they failed to make an impression. They're going to have a very, very steep uphill battle if they want any chance to make the major. Secondly, I got Solary, not even making it into the Swiss, but missing out on top 8 or on top 16 by 1 game for the second event in a row. That's K-Dop's team and Chaussette and Rise Fox. So, names people certainly know pretty well, but they miss out again. And then my biggest loser of the Swiss is non-top 6 EU teams. So for me, there seems to be a consistent top 6 forming. Karmine Corp, BDS, Vitality, Magnifico, Gentlemates, and then I put Oxygen in there. I think they just look too good to leave them out of this category. So you have many teams fighting for the remaining...
would agree.
Yeah, he certainly would. But we got, the remaining teams in EU fighting for those last 2 spots, like Redemption, Suh, Moist, Resolve, Endpoint, Team 3, etc. These teams you're fighting to kind of mop up those last 2 spots, but really, like, the talent is so solidified into that top 4, really top 2 seemingly recently, that it's going to be extremely difficult for any of these teams outside that top 6 to make an impression at an international event.
I feel like we almost can't include Moist in there.
No, I have them in the chasing group.
Oh, gotcha.
So like,
yep.
them, Resolve, Endpoint are like trying to be the team that makes those last 2 spots.
Yep, misunderstood that part.
Yeah.
Good call. You're also missing a space right after that.
Yeah.
Don't worry, I got you.
But now I feel like we got to talk about the highlight of the weekend, and that's our predictions. So our Swiss predictions, we both went 7 of 8. You picked Vitality, BDS, Karmine Corp, Gentlemates, Magnifico, and Oxygen and Suh correctly. You incorrectly predicted Endpoint instead of Redemption. And I, on the other hand, picked Vitality, Karmine Corp, BDS, Gentlemates, Magnifico, Redemption, Oxygen, and I missed on Suh, predicting instead that Bellingol would make it. So, 7 for 8 for both of us in the top 8, both predicting the winner. Hot streak continues.
Yeah. I don't know.
I mean, I feel like it's
Seems
easier
easy.
I feel like it's easier to predict the top 8 in EU just because of how solidified the talent is, but hey, I mean, we still did it. We still got it right.
I guess we take it.
Yeah. But you want to hit us with
Doesn't
your
feel
series?
as good as it should, though.
Yeah, well, we continue it in the spoiler. We continue it in the top 4, but people, you saw our, you guys saw our tweet about that. But we'll talk about that here in a second. But you want to give everybody your series from the Swiss?
AC versus Vitality in round 3 of Swiss. It was ridiculously close to obviously take it to game 7, and it there was so many like 0-second butt clenchers. It was super exciting. If you haven't seen the series, go watch it.
Yeah, it was a fantastic series, and a little bit of a spoiler. Right after Swiss is over, you see Carmine Vitality again in the quarterfinals, and you think, oh heck yeah, this is going to be another awesome series. Like we'll get to see, some fantastic Rocket League. It's going to be super close. No, nope. But moving into playoffs, do you want to run us down our quarterfinals?
Did I say round 3 or round 2? It was round 2.
It was round 2. I thought you said round 2, but I could be mistaken.
Okay, I'm not 100% sure, but it was round 2. Vitality versus KC. Yeah. So, what do we got? The quarterfinals, you said?
Yes, sir.
All right, let's do it. Team BDS beat Gentle Mates 4-1. Oxygen sweep Redemption 4-0. Carmine Corp sweep Vitality 4-0. And Magnifico beat SA in Game 7.
And then moving into our semifinals, we had BDS taking down Oxygen 4-1, and Carmine Corp dispatching Magnifico 4-1 as well, and setting up a grand finals matchup between BDS and Carmine Corp that went to Game 7, and Carmine Corp eventually were your regional number 2 champions. So now that we've gone through the results, what are your thoughts on day 2 and 3, the playoff bracket from this event?
Vitality got swept.
Yeah,
that's kind of like the centrality of my thoughts, or like what happened.
I mean, it's hard to overlook that, right? Like the closest game was Game 2 where it was 1-0 Carmine Corp, but they blast through the timeout buff to win 7-2, and then they followed up with a 6-3 win to sweep. I just
was that 7-2 was the one where they scored like 5 in a minute, right?
Yeah, in the first minute of the game.
That was absurd.
Yeah. So we
I
have.
kind of want to go back and watch that again because like they were just shit in the bed.
So we have to talk about this. Kickoffs. What happened?
This like we're playing hot potato. Just didn't want to touch the ball at all, and so nobody did. And so KC just put it in their goal.
I mean, Farah with a masterclass on another kickoff strat, as they are, the premier team in the world, in my opinion, in kickoff plays. Farah has talked about it before. A kickoff is the only time where you can have like set pieces or like designed plays in Rocket League, because it's the only time people start in a specific spot and the ball is stationary, like fully stationary. So, anything you can kind of do to turn the tables in your favor is just fantastic coaching, and Farah has done that and then some, right? I never would have thought of, the kickoff they scored quite a few goals on throughout the playoffs is like a double wing kickoff where you got people on both sides, and they both go.
The bot kickoff.
Yeah, the bot kickoff was lethal, especially in that series. I think they scored 3 goals off the bot kickoff.
That was crazy.
And then they threw in some Spanish kickoffs in there, some double fake kickoffs. It was truly a masterclass by them. They did a fantastic job, and it really showed their ability to adapt and to kind of make a 50-50 kickoff really more like 70-30.
Yeah, it was impressive.
But
and Vitality's kickoff.
Yeah, come on.
Needs some work.
Come on, Fairy Peak. Step your game up, bud.
Ooh.
But really the second thing that stands out to me is BDS, right? They made quick work of Gentle Mates. They made quick work of Oxygen, and they almost brought it back and beat Carmine Corp, right? So Carmine wins the first 2, BDS won the next 3, and Carmine battled back to take Game 7 in overtime. And like I cannot stress how incredible of a match that was. My wife was watching with me, and she was yelling at the TV, and everyone was on the edge of their seats. We were, really intently watching the game, and it was a fantastic series. But BDS certainly, at least in my eyes, have solidified themselves in that number 2 spot in EU.
Yeah, they seem to really take care of business during the bracket. And even against Carmine Corp, they look good.
They did. And, that's going to take a little bit away from, our biggest winners and losers of the playoffs. First and foremost, Carmine Corp, they win their second regional. They punched their ticket to Copenhagen. They looked great. Secondly, I got Oxygen taking down Redemption to make a top 4 and to put themselves firmly into that number 4 spot, knocking Vitality down to number 5 for the first major. And last but not least, and the EXO interview, that's got to be a winner in there too. But
yeah.
Last but not least, I got BDS. They've solidified themselves as the number 2 seed in EU, in my opinion. Drawley continues to improve. He's looked amazing. He really, this team really looks like they're firing on all cylinders. And, anytime Carmine and BDS play, it seems to be an instant classic. The only time BDS loses in playoffs is when they're playing Carmine Corps. So,
yeah, they look good.
Did I miss anybody in our winners here?
I'm assuming Farah is just included with KC.
Yeah, I mean, the big brain himself.
Yep. Mr. Whiteboard.
Yeah. And then moving on to losers, I have Redemption. After making the top 8, they couldn't get the offense going, scoring 1 goal total in their series against Oxygen in an effort where they got swept. Secondly, I got Vitality. They looked outclassed and outmatched by Carmine Corp at every step of the way, and their major chances are slowly slipping away. They've dropped down to 5th place in EU, and they need a big Regional 3 to punch their ticket. So, they're in danger of not even making a major, which is crazy to think after how dominant they looked at the end of last year.
I mean, same thing happened to BDS, right?
This is true, yes.
But still, seems wild.
It does indeed. And then last but certainly not least, I have the third loser is any team drawing Carmine Corp in the bracket before Grand Finals. So it's similar to G2 and NA. The whole goal of Swiss, other than making top 8, is to avoid Carmine Corp for as long as possible, and teams that didn't were quickly dispatched, right? So against Carmine Corp, Vitality didn't take a game, Magnifico took a game, and then they made Grand Finals, right? So any team that, is able to avoid Carmine Corp, BDS in this case, makes a Grand Final. Anybody that didn't was quickly defeated.
Yeah, give me some deja vu of NA.
It certainly seems to. Except this time, there's a clear number 2, in my opinion.
Yeah.
But, next are predictions. AJ going perfect on the day. Top 4 of BDS, Oxygen, Carmine Corp, and Magnifico, and a winner of Carmine Corp, and correctly predicting the Magnifico, Carmine Corp, and the SA series. And me predicting BDS, Carmine Corp, Magnifico correctly, missing out on Oxygen's win over Redemption, and predicting Carmine Corp as a winner. So on the weekend, AJ going 12 of 13, just missing 1 top 8, and me going 11 of 13, missing 1 top 8 and 1 top 4. This may be the best we've ever done.
It has to be.
There's no way. That's like an A.
That's a strong A.
Yeah. So
not bad.
Yeah, not at all. But
are we good, or is EU just super predictable?
Maybe both.
Could
I think depending on how it goes with our NA top 16, our top 8 predictions, then I think we'll have to see how that goes, and then we can make the decision if EU is predictable or if we're good.
Yeah.
But do you have a series of the day from the playoffs?
Grand Finals, BDS versus Carmine Corp. It literally had me sweating. It was super close. It was an incredible match all throughout. And we don't usually get to see good Grand Finals, and this was one of them.
Yeah. It gave me it wasn't in person, but the vibes kind of brought me back to Moist Furia from the World Championships 2 years ago.
I feel like we've been saying that a lot lately too.
Yeah, which is
awesome. It's
fantastic for the esports. So I'm very jealous of the people that are getting to go to Copenhagen to watch, because I think we'll see some good Rocket League.
Cool.
But so after the playoffs, after Carmine wins again, where does this leave us in EU? Carmine Corp has officially punched their ticket to Denmark, and they will be at the major. Now it is all about seeding. Vitality are currently sitting in 5th outside of a major spot. They're tied with Oxygen, but they're still like they're out of a spot. And like no one is truly out of contention because they haven't done their qualifiers yet for top 16 for open qualifier number 3, but we have 13 teams within 10 points of the last major spot. So certainly it is everything to play for. A lot of the teams that are a little bit lower down, like Solary, teams like that are going to need, to qualify and then to get some help with some results from other people. But, they talked about it on the broadcast over the weekend that there were, going into the playoffs for EU, there were 2,007 teams still in play to potentially make the major. A lot of those, being long shots of, needing to win an event and needing like everyone else to lose. But, technically it's still possible for over 2,000 teams to make the major, and that's crazy.
It was a chance.
Exactly.
Yeah,
But
it's wild.
But did you have anything else you wanted to add to any of the EU stuff before we jump over to NA?
Who? Nope.
Fair. Okay. Well, do you want to run us through the teams making the top 16 for Open Qualifier 3 from NA?
Let's do it. NA Open Quals 3, top 16. We got Gen.G, Pirates on a Boat, G2, Luminosity, TSM, OG, Omelette, SSG, Dignitas, The Muffin Men, Young Whippersnappers, NRG, Shopify Rebellion, M80, Boulevard, and The Snowmen.
Some familiar faces, some people returning after missing Open Qualifier number 2, some names that people already know. This is Squishy's last ride.
Is Boulevard the only new name we've seen?
Yes.
Okay.
But this is
But
like
it feels. I feel like this is all the more reason we need to just auto qual top 8, or like I said, even top 4. Auto qual some, because they're just gonna make it every time.
Yeah, I would tend to agree.
Yeah, that's how I feel about it. That's all I'll go into on that topic for now.
I think we should get some people together and have like a more dedicated episode to like format.
Patreon exclusive, perhaps,
potentially, or because after like 2 weeks from now, basically we'll be sitting there with all of the open qualifiers done, just kind of waiting around until the major. So we have basically 2 weeks off for teams to boot camp and get ready for the major. But we'll still be putting episodes out, so we could do a couple conversations with some people, potentially about
cool.
like
Some
how much
different
does
opinions on the
coaching
call.
influence Rocket League, the format, things like that. So
That'd be cool.
but my first thoughts on these top 16 teams from NA. This is Squishy's last ride. He said that he's only playing this split. He technically still has a chance to make the first major, but it is not looking likely unless they have a stellar performance. He is already signed to Rule 1 as a content creator, so I think this will truly be the last professional tournament for Squishy Muffins.
Yeah, that announcement trailer was awesome.
Yeah, really, really well done.
Yeah, that was super funny.
Next, Shopify are back in the main event after missing qualifier number 2, and Pirates on a Boat qualified through uppers, which is huge for them. And then last but certainly not least, M80 losing to TSM and having to qualify through the lower bracket. What is going on with them? I mean, it's not Swiss M80, which, according to Pulse Bop, is the number 1 team in the world.
Yeah, for real.
But, I mean, I don't know what to think about M80. They look so good in Swiss consistently. They do not look good in playoffs. And now dropping, TSM's a good team, right? They've made top 16. Now this is the second time that they've made it. But like, based on their performances, that's one that M80 should win.
Yep.
What are the vibes?
Swiss.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know what else to say.
Yeah, they made it into Swiss, so they get to continue their run. But if they don't have a good performance, then they're not making the major. Everything is on the line for a lot of these teams.
Yeah, it's crazy. I mean, They're gonna have to do better than they have previously. Like they're gonna have to make top 4,
I think so too.
and
I think making top
I
4 is the
don't know
only
that
way
they
you
will.
get your spot.
They need to dodge G2 is what they need to do.
That's what everybody needs to do.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, but we got to do it. We got to do our predictions.
Yeah.
We're not doing top 4 like I accidentally typed earlier. We're going to be doing our top 8. So which teams from Open Qualifier number 3 are making our top 8? I think that there's one instant lock in my opinion,
Yeah.
and that's G2.
That is G2.
I think Gen G also makes it. I think that's pretty safe. I'm actually gonna go Pirates on a Boat here as well. I think that they've looked good.
Yeah,
I
think that's a good choice.
I peg Luminosity to make it.
Yeah, definitely.
OG. I'm gonna say Space Station. This is where I feel like you have to say M80 because it's M80 Swiss.
Yeah. I mean, we've been preaching it. I'm going with it.
Okay, I'm gonna join you in that one as well, and that's 7 for me. So then who takes that last spot? I don't think it's NRG. It's between, for me, I think it's between Shopify and TSM.
I already included TSM in mine. I'll go through my list here in a bit.
I'm saying for me, I'm gonna go TSM as well. The hopium is so real.
Yeah.
But while you finish up your predictions here, I will run through mine. So for my top 8, I have G2, Gen G, Pirates on a Boat, Luminosity, OG, Space Station Gaming, M80, and TSM. And I have the winner being G2 again. Like we've talked about before, in NA it's G2, the Grand Canyon, and then everybody else. They've already punched their ticket.
G2 just like hard chokes. That'd be crazy.
That would be very crazy. However, I'm not entirely sure. I'm not entirely sure what who would do that. So we'll have to wait and see on that one.
All right, my top 8. We got G2, Gen G, TSM, Luminosity, M80, Pirates on a Boat, OG, and Shopify.
Okay, and then you have G2 winning it.
G2 is winning. Yeah.
Okay. So I mean, some
What
usual
are the differences here. SSG. I didn't pick SSG.
Yeah, you pick Shopify over SSG, and I think I think that's it. Yep.
Okay. Cool.
So pretty similar, some familiar faces in here, some new faces. So hopefully we'll do pretty good here, and we'll have to wait and see what happens with that. But again, similar to EU, where does this leave us? G2 have punched their ticket already to the major, and any team since the Open Qualifier 3 has started, and we now have our Swiss teams, any team not making Swiss has been eliminated from major contention. And we have currently 12 teams that are within 11 points of that 4th major spot and are alive and well in the chase for Copenhagen. These teams have everything to play for. A lot of them will need to win and some help, but we have, like I said, 12 teams fighting to get into that 4th spot, but realistically we have 15 teams fighting for 3 spots.
Yep.
So a lot to play for, a lot of exciting Rocket League. Hopefully this makes some good storylines. Hopefully this gives us a little bit of drama going into this last event, and hopefully it'll give us a lot to talk about before major number 1.
Yeah, let's hope so. It'll be fun.
It certainly will. Do you have anything in particular or anything else you want to add about NA before we jump around the world?
I don't think so.
Okay. You
Good
want
luck dodging G2.
Yep. But you want to start us off with OCE?
Oh, let's do it. Top 16 for OCE, we got Power, The Bus, Pioneers, Ground Zero, Chiefs, That's Crazy, Knick Knack, Kaka's Minions, They Whomst Cooketh, Warm, Young Money Clan, NBN, Shooting, Gremlins, NTR, and Scrims World.
So, best name from top 16?
I think it's They Whomst Cooketh.
I would agree on that one. It seems it's interesting to see, it's a lot of the same names for OCE. It's Power, it's Pioneers, it's Ground Zero, Chiefs, Kaka's Minions, Gremlins, Ground Zero. But we're seeing a couple new names like NTR, NBN, but for the most part, I think that it's those top teams region, and I think we're kind of just biding time for that. So OCE gets 2 teams into the major. I believe Power has punched their ticket already. Yes, they have indeed. So now we are waiting on. We are now waiting to see who will be joining them in this. So that being, right now Chiefs is currently in second, but there's a lot to play for. So what are your thoughts on that?
I don't really have any.
Fair.
Yeah.
Who do you got winning?
Ground Zero.
Okay. I will take Power.
Yeah. Good choice.
Next, moving on to Sam, we got some familiar faces here in the top 16. Furia, Complexity, Shaman Esports, W7M Esports, Crew, Hero Base, Gamer Legion, True Neutral, Bodybuilders, Not Exposed, Secret, Malados, Calbresos, Ninjas in Pajamas, Blazar, and Timeless. So what's your best name here from the...
NIP.
Agreed. Ninjas in Pajamas it is.
It's going to be hard to take them down.
I think so too. I think that, realistically speaking, in Sam, we got Furia, we got Complexity, we got Crew, we got Ninjas in Pajamas, and Team Secret, along with W7M are really, like, those are like the top 6. Like, that's who the teams that you should be looking for. It's very close between Furia and Complexity. Ninjas in Pajamas is right behind them, but they only get 2 major spots. So I think it's, if you make the grand finals, you're going to make the main event. You're going to make the major. So with that, who do you have winning this regional?
Going with NIP.
Okay. I'm going to stick with...
More of a hopium than anything.
Yeah, fair. I'm going to stick with Fury on this one. I think that they've been too good to deny. I think it's really Complexity and Fury. Yeah. I think that they will be the 2 that will be representing Sam, but you will we'll have to see if there's any upsets on that.
Yeah, that's why we play the game.
Indeed.
All right, let's head to MENA. So for top 16 in MENA, we got Awawa, Bravado Gaming, CEW, CR9BERH. I'm not even going to try to pronounce that.
I didn't either.
Dragons Esports, Fog Esports, In the House, Nightmare, QI6R8 Esports, Revolution, Rule 1, Falcons, Team Rock, Team ROC, Twisted Minds, and Vision Esports.
You have a favorite name that sticks out to you?
Awawa.
I kind of like In the House.
Yeah, that's fair. I like that one too.
I mean, I feel like MENA is a little bit toned down.
Yeah.
But that's just me.
Yeah, I'm sticking with the Wawa for sure.
Okay. I like, we can talk about these names all we want, but realistically it's a 2-team region. It's Team Falcons, it's Rule 1, and they're running away with it. In my eyes, it's Falcons winning this regional. I don't really, Rule 1, I think it'll be Rule 1 Falcons in the final, and I think that Falcons will take it again.
Yep.
But I think Falcons and Rule 1 will be the 2 MENA representatives headed to the major. So
yep.
Glad we're in agreement on that one. It makes it nice and easy.
Yeah, and quick.
It does. Next, moving on to APAC. Our teams making top 16 are 0545 Revel, Allardyce Gaming, Chapati Dream, Detonator, Elevate, Grace's Blaze, Gaming Gladiators, Go Blocks, Kashikari, Los Angeles Signal, Overt, Rocket Kickers, Sailing Esports, The Court, TVYG and CA, and
Okay. I feel like there's a few pretty good ones here.
Yeah. I mean, for me, it's hard not to go Chapati Dream.
Yeah. Honorable mention to Go Blocks.
Yeah, I like
And
I like Kashikari too. I think it's fun to say.
Yeah, I'm definitely sticking with the Chapati Dream though. Yeah, agreeing with you on that one.
But again, I think it's like we really have three teams up top, and it's Elevate, Gaming Gladiators, which are tied, and Chapati Dream in third, with APAC only getting one team for the major. But with that, I have Gladiators winning this event and representing APAC in Denmark.
I'm going with Chapati Dream because of the name again.
Okay. I think that for Chapati Dream to make the major, they would need to win the event, and then they would need some help.
Yeah.
So
I gotta like throw Swiss or something to knock out one of the other teams in an early round or something.
well, it's a 7-point difference between first and no, it's not. It's 4 points. I'm sorry. 4-point difference between first and second, right? And they're currently 7 points behind Elevate and Gladiators. So if one of Elevate or Gladiators make the finals, then they will punch their ticket. So we'll have to wait and see.
Cool.
And then you want to wrap us up with our last region, SSA?
Let's do it. Let's do the Sub-Saharan Africa top 16. We got 77 blocks. Bonjour, Drift Queens, Firehawks. I paused my abacus to be here. Limitless, Maniacs, NXT Aquavites, Owned Esports, Kazar,
Yeah.
Sesame Street Ballers, Schmongolia, The Elites, Unknown Goats, White Rabbit Gaming, Young Money Clan.
What's your favorite name here?
There's some good ones.
Yes, there are.
I got it narrowed down to 3.
Okay, I'm down to
4.
I'm down to I'm down to 3. What are
Down
your
to
4?
3. Drift Queens. I paused my abacus to be here. Sesame Street Ballers and Schmongolia.
Yep, mine is I paused
Those
my
are all good.
I paused my abacus to be here. Sesame Street Ballers and Schmongolia. But
Yeah.
I got to go recency bias on this one. I got to go. Shout out to DJ TJ.
Schmongolia.
Yep, got to go Schmongolia. Shout out to the boys.
I'm with you. Heck yeah.
It's such a good name. But shout out to Wordy.
It is.
So
Yeah.
Wordy and the boys, we wish them the best of luck. DJ, thank you again for making the time. That was a great time. So,
Yeah, if you haven't listened to the interview yet, go listen to it now. What are you doing?
yeah. So are we going Hopium on this one, or are we going who we actually think is going to win? Because I think it's going to be Limitless, but I would love to see Schmongolia take it.
I've gone Hopium on every single winner so far, so I don't see why that stops now.
I'm in Schmongolia.
Yeah,
Same for you?
let's do it. Yep.
Heck yeah. But we went through that a little bit quicker than I thought we would because we agreed on a lot of things, which is both
Mhm.
good and bad. So do you have anything else that you want to add about any of the regions we've talked about or Rocket League in general?
I mean, Rocket League just feels like dodge the winners and try and take second place,
It certainly seems that way.
which sucks, but it'll be nice to see some international esports going on.
Yeah, I'm excited to see what
See
happens
how we're
when
all stacked up.
see where G2 stacks up to NA teams, because this has been the ongoing
Man,
conversation.
Those predictions are gonna be difficult.
Yes, they are,
Wow.
but
But I look forward to it.
me too. It's gonna be so much fun, and
It is.
I'll tease it a little bit here. I'm like 95% sure we're doing an in-person meetup with people that you guys have seen on the podcast before, and we'll be doing an in-person watch party. So you guys will get a lot of content out of that. So we won't be in Copenhagen, but we will be somewhere. So more details to come on that. But we can't wait to bring you guys more content to continue watching some awesome Rocket League. So with that, we'll wrap up for today's episode. We'd like to thank you guys so much for listening. Please remember to follow us on Twitter, Instagram, join our Discord, rate us wherever you listen to podcasts. Rating 5 stars really helps us out, really helps us grow our show and reach a larger audience, which is the goal. Also, please make sure to check out our YouTube, our Twitch, our TikTok, and our merch store. That merch is awesome. It even helps you make a fire mac and cheese. Thanks, Big Fan RL. But all of these links and more can be found on our website at boostoverball.com. From us here on the show, as always, remember to choose Boost over Ball.
Thank you for listening to the Boost Over Ball podcast. Make sure to check out our website, www.boostoverball.com, and rate us wherever you listen to podcasts.